And just to give my opinion on this, what DJ Academics does now is worse than what he did 10 years ago, in my opinion. After he heard Luce Cannon say that he kidnapped Meek Mill, Act told Luce that he was capping. But this was obviously just so Luce would explain himself. DJ Academics didn't think this story was a lie, he just knows how to make an idiot explain himself. And it's the same with Lil Durk's interview. Act went from just repeating the things these guys say on the internet while adding a little sauce like calling them Baphomet, Wolverine, and the Grim Reaper, to now he's actually using tactics to make people admit to crimes. Which, of course, as an adult, you should not be able to get tricked like this. Some guys actually want to snitch on themselves, but you can't just take advantage of a person making dumb decisions to the point where you actively helping them dig a hole. Like, I'm pretty sure, let me know if I'm capping, but Lil Durk's interview with DJ Academics is actually being used against him in federal court. But anyway.
I just want to say, I always thought these hood vlogs was dumb because, alright, let's make a video. Let's talk about our ops. This our ops, get our ops mad. Walk around our block where we be at with guns, doing illegal activities. Show the cops everything. They could all pull up here and expect us to have guns and illegal things or about to slide and do illegal things. Shit is just dumb, but, you know, anything for the views and the clout. But let's get back into the vid.
Every YouTube channel goes to the hood nowadays, it seems. But there's only a few that I actually feel like bring something good. Like a message. Tommy G, for instance, his message in any video is to always let the youth know that this is not worth it and this is not how you want to live.
Tommy G is my favorite hood vlogger, like, cause he really go in depth. He go to like, damn, like when he go to the hood, or if he go to a city, he gonna go to 4 different hoods. He gonna get the good side of things. He gonna get the cops' perspective. He gonna get the gangbangers' perspective. He gonna get the civilians that live around the gangbangers' perspective. He just get all perspectives, and then at the end, in the beginning, he puts the positive message of why this shouldn't be going down. But he shows you, like he just like his shit's so organized. One day I wanna have a channel that's organized and like so put together, like how he do his. Like he the best. He the best hood vlogger. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
But some of the guys on the platform that are going to the hood and asking a group of 15-year-olds what they think about the people that killed their homie is just insane. Now, as a disclaimer, I will say that I noticed some of the guys going to record these interviews are only like 19 years old. But even when I was 19, I'm not DMing no kids asking them to link up for an interview. And then when I get there, I just ask them about their dead friends, how many blocks they hood stretch, and if they have a message for the camera. Like at 15, bro, you don't have no damn message. It's just like little RT interviews. I barely even know who this kid is, and I definitely would never listen to his music, but why would you ever interview a 10-year-old? He's been on multiple platforms, including No Jumper. Bro not even reading at a 9th grade level because he hasn't reached 9th grade yet. This is child neglect, and whoever invited this kid into a studio needs to be watched by the police. Anyway, let's talk about what these guys being interviewed think they're getting out of it. I remember when a channel in Chicago interviewed this hood in West Inglewood and he got 1 million views. Then once those guys realized that YouTube pays money for views, they got mad and threatened the interviewer for making all the money and not giving them any. Most people on earth have no idea how YouTube works in terms of revenue and running a channel. A lot of people don't even think it's possible for them to generate revenue this way, but it's not as complicated as it seems. So we have guys in the hood that'll get interviewed for free, just like the guys that go on No Jumper for free. Because why? Because they think an interview equals clout and they think clout equals money. Bro, there are AI channels that don't even talk. They just let ChatGPT write a whole script for them, then let an AI voice do the narrating and get millions of views. They don't get any clout for that. They just get paid. It's like back in the day when people would record something crazy for WorldStar hoping they would get 1 million views, but the only person that would profit were whoever was behind WorldStar. Many people have been robbed or killed just because they got a lot of views but didn't make any money to not always be in the exact spot they were recorded in. For instance, if I come to your hood.
Exactly. You gonna do an interview, make the interviewer, what, $1,000 to $2,000 to $3,000, and then get your ops mad and get the cops mad. Now we gonna see if your ops come kill you or if the cops come and rush you. And he just made $3,000. So let me put money in his pocket and put my life in danger. Yo, bro, none of this makes sense, like, at all.
and ask you a bunch of questions, clearly trying to get you to mention your ops, and you do end up mentioning them and saying something disrespectful, even if I gave you $500 for the interview, you still will be on the same block when the guys you disrespected come to find you. Now, back in the day, they used to do this. They used to have to put it on a DVD and sell it, and I remember being in 4th grade when some of the older kids from my hood would watch these hood DVDs, and it was the first time I'd ever seen anything like this. And coming into the 2010s, Zach TV was the first to do it in the form that we see today. And although I never met Zach, he seemed like an upstanding guy. He was just interviewing these guys that were trending, and back then the gang members in Chicago were way more of a hot topic than they are today. And he managed to do interviews from Chicago all the way to New York. But after a while, this started to get dangerous. Why? Well, Zach did keep it respectful at all times, and he let every person tell their own story. But again, he was interviewing gang members, and most of them were teenagers. What do teenage boys do all over the country? Try to look tough. Doesn't matter if you in the suburbs, live around a farm, or in the hood. I've seen it all. And it's just that when you in the streets, trying not to look soft involves you dismissing and disrespecting other teenagers that will crash out and come find you. So when Zach was going from hood to hood doing interviews, he run into one group of guys to say the last group of guys he interviewed were lying. Then the next group he interviewed would say that the last group of guys he interviewed was disrespectful. Then it turned to these gang members looking at Zach sideways and wondering why he would interview them and the guys that are trying to kill them. Of course, this is just unbiased journalism. When a war reporter goes into the field, they sometimes interview both sides. But unfortunately, just like journalists get killed, so does Zach. And just to give my opinion on this, what DJ Akademiks does now is worse than what he did 10 years ago, in my opinion. After he heard Loose Cannon say that he kidnapped Meek Mill, Ak told Loose that he was capping. But this was obviously just so Loose would explain himself. DJ Akademiks didn't think this story was a lie. He just knows how to make an idiot explain himself. And it's the same with Lil Durk's interview. Ak went from just repeating the things these guys say on the internet while adding a little sauce like calling them Baphomet, Wolverine, and the Grim Reaper, to now he's actually using tactics to make people admit to crimes. Which, of course, as an adult, you should not be able to get tricked like this. Some guys actually want to snitch on themselves, but you can't just take advantage of a person making dumb decisions to the point where you actively helping them dig a hole. Like, I'm pretty sure, let me know if I'm capping, but Lil Durk's interview with DJ Akademiks is actually being used against him in federal court. But anyway, there's multiple ways to do this, right? You can go to the hood and ask guys how they grew up, give them some promotion, and ask them about their future plans maybe. But when you go and just spread gossip and ask provocative questions, you know what type of response you're gonna get from these guys. The dudes in the street bring enough heat to themselves. I'm not about to go to your hood and put the camera on you when I know you about to taunt some guys that's gonna come through shooting. Like, man, I already don't want to be standing out here with you, cause every dude in the hood gonna tell you good standing with them as if they have control over a stolen car full of their ops that will come through and lay us all down. I learned at 15 that you gotta watch what you do and say on camera, especially in the city. And this is nothing new. People were getting killed over being arrogant on camera before Facebook even had an app, when you had to log in on the PC.
But people don't care because they do everything for clout. Like, people really care about clout more than money, honestly. Like, it's people who would, like, do stuff to their own family and friends for clout, but won't go get a job and rather sit there and be broke. Like, this shit, like,
definitely after it was still happening. The first guy I ever saw get caught and stood over on a live stream was like a decade ago. When some gang members told him not to come up to this one store, he came right up to the store, started his live, and was talking crazy, and seconds later, he was dead. These guys contribute enough to their own demise. I'm not gonna come and record you in front of your grandma's house and let you talk crazy. Once again, most of the guys that are being interviewed are teenagers. If I see a group of 16-year-old little boys deep on the block, I'm not saying nothing to y'all. Y'all the ones doing all the dirt. And if I do say something, I'm gonna tell you some real game. Like how when you go to jail, all your homies out here gonna move on and forget about you. They'll say free you when the camera's rolling, but won't put $1 on your books. And also, like I always say, they're gonna be sleeping with your girl. If you're not out here telling these kids the truth, then you don't need to be out here. The kids in the street are the ones that's misled. Any grown gang members, ain't no point in talking to them at all. Everybody gotta grow up one day. There's guys that used to be in the streets that grew up and own businesses now. They raise their family and give back. But you can't get rich in the streets. You can't be successful in the streets. You out here baiting these kids to answer crazy questions, knowing that you the only one that's gonna eat from it at the end of the day. Because when you leave their block or when they leave your studio, you going home and profiting, and they gonna go right back to mom's house, hoping nobody pops out the bushes before they can get to the door. The stuff in the streets will be going on whether the internet existed or not. But it just looks crazy, in my opinion, whenever you pull up to a group of kids and essentially try to get them to diss other hoods, as if these guys ain't the ones doing all the shooting. But that's just me, man. Let me know what you guys think.
I didn't hear not one line of that video. That was a great video. Shout out to Trap University. This shit pointless. Like, it's just pointless, bro. Like, kids is so dumb. Like, the education system is dumb. The kids is dumb, and they do drugs, make them dumber. Bro, if you watching this and you teenager or kid, bro, go get you some money, bro. Don't gangbang. Like, don't gangbang. Go get you some money by any means possible. But everything else come after. Hope y'all enjoyed the vid.